Folks, hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. I'm your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR. So I did a video on Mike Mearls and his latest, I don't know, awakening as to what gaming should be. It should have risks. It should have rewards. It shouldn't be Care Bear. My phraseology for it. And there were a couple of people like, "Oh, you don't know Mike. Oh, Mike's always he ran old school D&D at his at he ran White Box at Watsy. He may have. He may have. I'm not saying he didn't. I did. I asked AI, God forbid, to tell me what Mike did for D&D and Watsy. So Mike Merles was involved in Woods to the Coast from June 2005 until his departure in December of 2023, approximately 8.5 years. His tenure included significant roles as a lead designer or developer, particularly for the fourth and fifth editions of the game. Okay, so he joined as a designer in 2005, contributing to the third edition and soon transitioning to work on the fourth edition. He became part of the Flywheel design team for 4th edition in May 2006, led by Rob Heinze, who finalized the edition's concept work by September of 2006. Heinze left in 2009, and Mearls was then the lead designer for D&D 4th edition. Now, you would think lead designer would mean that you've got some impact on the direction the system is going in. 4th edition, my personal opinion, it took the flavor out of D&D. It made everything equal, uninteresting, but in any case, um, that role evolved into group manager of the D&D team by May of 2010. So he moved pretty quickly in those first 5 years. Following Andy Collins' exit, this marked the start of his leadership development, spanning roughly from 2009 onward. So he was in these lead roles. Now, people will say, you don't know the environment at Watsy. Certainly don't. But when you're in a leadership position, you can take different aspects to it. You know, when I was a sergeant, especially when I was working in an office, my role in my mind was to make my people, my staff, civilian and uniformed, the best. Support them. Wasn't about me because them looking good is going to make me look good. But it was never about, oh, am I going to get a discretionary promotion? It was never on my mind. I didn't care about it. Would have been great. Would have been extra money, even in retirement. But that wasn't how I looked at it. Now, others looked in those positions as, what's in it for me? I'm not saying that's the wrong way. I'm just saying that is often what happens. So, for the fifth edition, Mearls served as co-lead designer alongside Jeremy Crawford, co-lead designer of 5e. So whatever you have of 5e that you like, it's a good chance he was involved in it. And if there are aspects you don't like, it's a good chance he was involved in it. With development beginning in 2011 and culminating in the edition's release in 2014. One thing I will say about D&D 2014 5e's original iteration, it did spend a lot of time in beta testing. I did some of that beta testing, and I had some great moments and had some horrible moments. I don't think I enjoy beta testing. All right. He continued to lead the D&D R&D team as senior manager and later became the franchise's creative director in 2018. These are all positions of leadership. So if the game was going in a good direction, and it was a strong seller, right? Also gave us things like your barista adventure, but I digress. Overseeing its creative direction until he stepped away from the tabletop RPG team in 2019 to work on Magic: The Gathering. Ray Winiger replaced him as head of the D&D studio in 2020, though Mearls remained with WotC until his layoff, departure. The article here says layoff. I believe Mearls says he departed December 2023. But here's the thing. Mike right now is talking about without risk, there is no reward. And people go, oh, well, yeah, well, the rules don't matter. You can make 5e whatever you want it to be. Default settings, 5e is damn near impossible to kill a PC. Why is that? Because there's so much involved in creating a 5e character. How do I know I don't play 5e? Shiracon, a couple of years ago, I played a session of 5e. I had fun. Don't get me wrong. I also had an 8-page printout for my character sheet. Needless to say, I didn't read it all. There was stuff that my character was a 6th-level monk. I went with minimal knowledge. So if you're telling me that 5e, as written, is an entry game, no, it's not. And there's other earlier quotes from Mike that I can bring up, but I'll say that for another video. But 5e, as published, as written, is written to be supported by programs like D&D Beyond, because following all those rules is damn near impossible. In terms of capacity as lead designer or developer, 4th edition Mearls was a key developer starting in 2005, became lead designer around 2009, actively shaped the edition until its core books were completed. This period of lead design lasted approximately 4 to 5 years, overlapping with 5e prep work. 5th edition, as co-lead designer, he was deeply involved from 2011 to 2014 release and continued influencing development as senior manager and creative director until 2019. There were some good releases for D&D, and there's some horrible releases for D&D in that time. But D&D 5e is a Care Bear system. It is a system where it is intended to be damn near impossible to kill off the PCs because too much work goes into creating them. That's a legacy of Mike. He was involved in designing it. Now, has he seen the light? Was he just designing that system because that's what the company wanted, not what he thought was best? If you really think it's what is best, maybe you fight for what is best. I know folks are saying that Mike's in his position at Chaosium and he can now do what he wants to do. Again, great. But why didn't you show some of those leadership abilities when you were in a leadership position? That's my question. If the game was going in the wrong direction, you steer the ship in the right direction. Nothing personal against Mike. Everybody I've spoken to that knows him says he's a great guy. That's great. But it seems now to me that he is trying to put himself one step into the OSR, which he did, by the way, with the consulting on 2014 5e. And then he stepped away from that, and now it sounds like he's trying to finagle himself back in on that side. Why? Success of DCC and Shadowdark and OSE. If you're going to throw out an old school, a new fantasy system, which I think Mike is working on, that's your market. That's what you got to appeal to. Folks, tell me what you think. I'd like to hear your thoughts. I'm actually going to try to do a video this week going over some of the comments from that first video. I think they're important. So, on that note, be safe, be well, God bless, roll those dice, roll them well. I'll catch you all tomorrow. Live streams tomorrow, Wednesday. Oh my God. I'll catch you then. Be good.